Well, I have to say that this was the hardest tech product to get a hold of that I have ever experienced in my life. And that beats out the Vision Pro having to do the face scan, which was not that complicated. But these things are insanely hard just to get the pre-order. So let's get them out of the box and see if it was really worth all of that pain and suffering. Well, let's get this out of the box and check them out. Now, to be fair, I did actually go and to do the pre-order, you have to go to Best Buy. You have to meet a Meta Tech, or I mean a Best Buy, person, and then they have to fit you for the glasses. And to be fair to Meta, it was definitely something that I'm glad I went in, because the armband, I had to get the right size. I was a 2, I believe, on these, and I can tell you that real quick. That is in fact, yes, a size 2, and these are a size standard. The large on these is ridiculous, and the small was way too small. So here we have what looks like the armband. It came out of this little box here, and I'll go ahead and push this out here. This is the neural band. It's kind of interesting because I had a product very similar to this not too long ago. I say not too long ago. It was a few years ago. They were called the Myo armbands, and they did much the same thing that this did. You put this on your wrist, and when you put those on your wrist, they would read the electrical impulses sent from your brain to your hand, and then it would, allow you to interact, type on a keyboard, virtual type keyboard thing. But anyway, it was really, really cool. And I had 2 of them, but they would sit right up here on your arm, where this is made to go on your wrist. So really, really cool. And in fact, I don't remember exactly. I think I asked the guy there at Best Buy, but I believe that Meta may have bought that tech from Myo. So I've had experience with this technology in the past. So really, really cool. And that's what kind of made me want to check these out. So this is the armband. You'll see here, this says this line faces you. So I put it on backwards as I'm sitting here talking about it, just to show you what this is. Now, you can wear this with a watch and obviously on your other hand. So this line would face you here. See the bottom here, I'll just show you from the top down. This is a size 2, and I will tell you, I had a size 3, and I would not want to go any smaller than a size 2, and I have about medium wrists, so just keep that in mind if you're looking at these, or if you find one on Facebook Marketplace, you definitely do want to go and test that out. So along with this neural link band, you get a magnetic charger that's going to go underneath here and charge your device or your neural link band. It's a USB-C, really, really cool. And then of course we have our instruction manual in here that will walk you through how to use it. So lock the band snug so that all the sensors make contact. That is one thing they told me. You want to make sure it is really snug on your wrist. Again, align the magnetic charger, so that's going to go there. You do have a couple LEDs on the thing. You have your clasp, and that's pretty much it. Now, this is going to tell you how to do the hand gestures. So to use hand gestures, slide the band onto your right hand. So did that already. I went to Best Buy and did all of this because you have to go and get fitted to even pre-order this. And it's kind of an interesting process. Wear the band just past your wrist bone. So I actually have it a little bit too tight there. You actually want to pull it up. I say too tight, but too much forward. You want to wear it up here just a little bit on your wrist. And then lock the band snug so that all the sensors are in contact. There we go. All right. So that is the neural link band and how that works. I will go ahead here and get the glasses out of their box. So the Meta Houston, these are just the Ray-Ban version of that, but these do have that new screen inside of them, and it is pretty cool. So in here, they unfold, again, very similar to the Houstons. You've got your Meta Ray-Bans display instructions here, teaching you, what to do, how to charge it, how they sit, all this other stuff like that. It is useful information. And then, of course, you have your charging cable here, and I will see if I can open this. There we go. Don't want to rip it there. So you get a nice cleaning cloth. This is actually a very, very nice cleaning cloth. And then you get a USB-C to USB-C cable, which I always appreciate when companies give us actual USB-C cables and not USB-A cables anymore. And here is your Ray-Ban case. I have to say I'm not a fan of Ray-Bans in general. And one of the things about these, see, I've never actually pulled, there we go. Okay, so when you get them, they're gonna pull forward out of the case. I'm gonna grab my phone real fast because to get these even running, I will need to connect them to my phone. So let me open the Meta app here and Meta AI. I'm gonna go ahead and also read the instructions because when I did this, they were already set up. I didn't go through that process. So it says keep the glasses in the case and remove the pull tab after pairing in the app. So I already may have done things that are not supposed to be done here. Let me scroll down here. Remove the pull tab. So there's a pull tab right here on the thing. You pull that out. That's the pull tab. They're still in the glasses. LED will start pulsing. It is pulsing. Yes. Okay. So it actually has a thing that says already pulled tab, which I did. So now you're going to pull this out. So don't pull the tab until you think it, I opened the glasses. So you're going to pull these out, leave them shut. This is very, very similar to the Houstons. What I did, I made the same mistake in the Houstons. This right band, you're going to hold that down for 5 seconds until, with the arms folded, there we go. I heard them go into that pairing mode. I'm looking for the LED, but I don't see it. It says that it's supposed to be white, but I don't see the LED that's white. I'll go ahead and slide these little covers off here. And where's my white? There it is. So it's, white LED is over here on the left frame, close to this Ray-Ban sign right there. I'll set these down right here and put these over here. So the LED is flashing white. There it is. It sees them. It is pairing the glasses. And let me go ahead and take this off here. Yep, go ahead and pair. And so it is going to pair the glasses with my phone and hopefully not glitch out like my Houstons did, or HSTNs, however you want to say it. And there it is, they're paired. So pair your Meta neural band here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue and press and hold the button for 2 seconds. So there's a button over here. This just reminds me very much of a Fitbit. So I'm going to go ahead and press this button right here on the right hand side of the band. Okay, and there we go. Top light illuminates, is flashing white. Here we go. And we'll see, okay, it sees the neural band pairing up. This is all very, very seamless so far. It did vibrate there, so it's like light, like a haptic feedback when it's pairing. So that's another thing, is that you're using your hands like this and doing like drawing motions and different things. And if you've seen any of the, data or any of the videos from when they launched these, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I can kind of walk through that here in a second. And we can fold those down. That's kind of interesting. Oh, you can fold this case up. That is super cool. So I will say that is pretty cool. You just fold that up and there's the case. So you have this case that unfolds like that for the glasses when you want to store them. And then when you don't want to store them, you just fold that down, fold it over, and there you go. You throw that in your backpack. That is really, really nice. So this has an update. I'm going to go ahead and update it here. And one of the things that I really wanted to check out, and I will say when I saw these in the store, and I'm hoping they've been updated since, is, these are $800 and, $799, $800 glasses. These are expensive for what they are, and I don't feel like the tech is good enough yet to warrant that $800 price tag. I think they definitely need to be a little bit better before, that price tag gets on them. I think this $600 I feel like would be a good price for these. I'm not going to share my data here. Use driving detection. High-speed movement is detected. Audio only mode will turn on. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I don't need that. Okay. Learn how to properly wear and use your thing. So I have it on my right hand. You choose which hand you have it on. They say to have it on the right. This is going to walk you through the steps here, as you can see from the top down, on how to pull. There's a little pull tab here that lifts up. It's kind of cool. Line is facing me. And there's that little line right there, which I'm going to go ahead and pull this off right here since I don't need that anymore. So line is facing me, yes. Okay, so you're going to position it just past your wrist bone, or this knob right here on your wrist. Band is locked and snug. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick pull test. There we go. So as they said, that pulls up and locks into place there. So final fit check, and yeah, that is really, really nice and snug there. Do this. Okay. Preview, frame, and capture on the glasses. Keep the app open, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's 5 minutes. It's updating here. Check your messages. Cool. Silently reply. That's actually really, really cool. Looks like it's still updating everything so far. Get help with Meta, so very similar. If you have Meta, you know, the Meta Ray-Bans, the Oakley Metas, this is all, it has the 3K camera in here. These are not waterproof, water resistant. These are not action glasses like the Houstons or the other like big, I'm going to call them biking glasses. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but they're the ones that came out right after the Houstons. So yeah, you can go here, solve everyday problems with Meta. Cool. You can use Translate. That's really, really cool. But this says this has 4 minutes, so we will go ahead and hop back in here as soon as this is done. Well, the update is done, and I'm back in the setup process here. So we are doing display accessibility settings, so we can set the text size, color blindness correction, screen reader magnification. So that is really, really cool that we have that. So let's go ahead, and it says to put the glasses on here. So first time putting them on, at least this pair. And of course we have that standard, you know, dun dun dun, that standard noise. So it is walking me through the camera setup, so much very, very similar to the Houstons. But what's really cool is I can actually see the photo in my right hand, lower right hand corner in the eye. It's really kind of cool. And so let's go ahead, continue the next step. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to the hand gestures here. So if we tap the index and my thumb together and release, I feel the buzz inside of the wristband, which is really, really cool. So I am at the home screen right now, and I see the Ask Meta something. So it wants me to now swipe my thumb along my index finger, so like this. And that is really cool. This is working a lot better than the demo at Best Buy. I will say, the demo at Best Buy was quite terrible compared to this. So this is, you want me to swipe down, so it wants me to go like this. So there we go, and yes, this is working really, really well. This whole process right here was not functioning when I was in the Best Buy trial. And here I scrolled down, I went to my apps, so you swipe to the right, went to my apps, got to the photo, and then I can tap my middle finger to my thumb to go back. So forward is index and thumb, back is middle finger and thumb, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and I will change the volume here. You hold your index finger and wrist and you rotate. Now this, I will say, there we go. This was not working in the demo, so it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it is definitely a lot better here. So if you want to put your glasses to sleep, you double tap your middle finger, and that puts the screen to sleep. You can double tap to wake them up. There you go. Thumb double tap to say, "Hey Meta." So that's really cool. So of course it said it, but you double tap to your thumb like this, your thumb to your index, and then you don't even have to say anything. That is really, really cool. So instead of, you have multiple ways now, of course, doing this. You can tap and hold. You can say, "Hey," and I'm not going to say it because it'll kick it off here. I'm going to say, "Hey Facebook," and then you can also now do this, and there it is. It's right there. That is just super, super cool, super handy. So you could have your hand down here and just go dat, and there it is. And it's working really, really smoothly. I am really impressed with how well this is functioning when compared to the demo that I saw at Best Buy. I honestly was not really enjoying the demo. Now, obviously, I have not seen myself with these. I can connect apps. I won't do that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and do that later, but I can connect music apps to this just like any of your, Meta Ray-Bans, Oakley Metas. It all works very much the same way. And I'm hoping there will be other apps down the road just because I definitely feel like there should be, because right now, all I'm seeing right now on my glasses is WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger, calls, music, camera, photos, and captions. And then I have Hypertrail, I don't know what that is, and maps. So let's go ahead. Oh, I guess I'm doing this here. Let's open maps here, see if it'll open. There we go. Okay, so very, very cool. I can see my maps. I can dictate where I want to go, and I have almost kind of like a heads-up display. So I'm going to go ahead and say, go to Walmart. There we go. Okay, so it took me to Walmart Deli here, and I can send it to my phone, or I can swipe over and I can start here. Not available on your location yet. So it's still not perfect, I will say, but it is working pretty well when compared to, and I shut that off. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's up there. Let me go back here, go back. So yeah, you're just tapping just like this. This is really kind of cool. I'm really impressed with how well this is working. I keep saying that, but I was not loving the the demo, and this actually works. So all you got to do is just you tap and you kind of just roll your finger left or right like this, and that turns up brightness. You can now I'm so used to the Vision Pro that I look with my eye and I forget that I got to swipe over. I will say that is one thing that it's going to take me some getting used to, because I'm used to now, this motion right here is very, 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 Vision Pro and in anything really, augmented reality. Basically, the resolution is not, let's just say it's not the greatest, right? Like, you're not looking at a 1080p display. But what the guy at the demo said is that if you turn up the brightness, and it's crisper. It's definitely readable. This is definitely readable, and I would love to get an actual message on here. Another thing is, just to show you or tell you what I'm seeing, is you actually go into your camera app and you can see the camera, and you can kind of like, he said you could pinch to, there it is. Yep, you can pinch to zoom. So you just basically like grab this here like that and flick it like that. And I am now zoomed in on my camera here, and there we go. I have a picture of my camera. That is really cool. I want to get this set up. So I have a trip coming up to Arkansas, and I'm going to be doing a cross-country road trip, and I will have these on that trip. So these are going to come in very, very handy for driving with maps, with text messages. Obviously hands-free driving. I can see the road and I can read a text message. So that's really cool. Whether it's $800 cool, I don't know. It is really fancy tech. In terms of the fact that you can't see what I see, and that's kind of new and hasn't really been done before that I'm aware of. They still are a little thick, funky looking glasses in my book. In fact, I just want to see myself here for just a second and decide, I mean, yeah, they're fascinating. I don't know. Again, I've never been a fan of Ray-Bans in general. Just me personally, so we will see, but definitely can't wait to test these out some more and actually put them through some use cases. So after my trip to Arkansas, I think I've really had a decent amount of time with these glasses. It's been several weeks now, and I can really speak to some of the glasses, honestly, downfalls. There are some positives. I struggle with these glasses, and even when I unboxed them, it was like, okay, I don't think they're worth the price. And the more that I've used them, I'm left asking myself, who are they for? I mean, they're for tech enthusiasts. Honestly, I think that's what it is. It's a cool tech demo, and it's definitely a vision into the future of where we will get with, augmented reality and basically screens in our glasses, so that we don't have, we're not always looking at our cell phone. We can see maps maybe overlaid. I mean, imagine arrows on the road, you're in a city and you want to go somewhere, and so you ask it, where this place is, and then it directs you via, a map that overlays in front of you. I mean, that's going to be really cool, but we are not there yet, and these definitely don't do that. In fact, they're so limited that it leaves you asking again, why? So I'll hit this real quick, and I'll try to show you as best as possible. I'll get this on the table so you can maybe see what I see. But you have maps here. You have like captions. Now, captions is actually really, really cool. I did enjoy that. You can actually go into, I was in a Starbucks, and I don't have any B-roll of that, but I was in a Starbucks, and the person in front of me was talking, and it was showing me pretty much, and it was very noisy, what she was saying back to me. And it would be really cool in a conversation with somebody who doesn't speak maybe my native language, English, whatever, and it does have live translate. So that was really, really cool. And then you have music, which is cool while driving down the road. With the family, I was driving in the car. It was nighttime, like midnight, driving down the road. They're sleeping. I can't run the radio, so I stay awake. And I mean, I could do this with my sunglasses. I couldn't see the road, but it allowed me to play music. I could take phone calls, which, I mean, that's what smart glasses do, so we know that. It's nothing new. One of the coolest things was honestly being able to kind of see the music that I'm listening to. So like if I click on music here, for instance, it's going to take some time to load up, and it's going to connect to my phone, hopefully, but it'll actually show me what I'm listening to and the album art. And then all I have to do is just double tap and it goes away. And if I'm like, oh, what is that song? Who's playing that song? I can double tap, and while I'm driving, I can see it. That was really cool. I did enjoy that feature. Instagram is useless to me. I don't understand why there's not more apps beyond Instagram. WhatsApp, again, these are apps I don't use all that often, and if I use them, I want to see, I don't want to message people. I want to actually see the content. And so like I click on Instagram, for instance, and I have, friends, but that's all I have in its messages. Why? Calls, again, kind of, it's not integrated very well. Messenger, it's a messaging thing. Now, the camera was probably one of the coolest things to interact with. So if I tap on the camera here, I can zoom in the shot by doing this. You pinch and zoom. So it's really kind of cool to be able to do that. And I will hopefully be able to show you this, take the glasses off and hopefully get some, shots of that. But honestly, that was one of the things that I really, really enjoyed, was using the camera just to honestly just zoom in and be like, okay, that's kind of cool that I can do that, because in my Oakley Metas I can't do that. And of course I just activated the glasses here, so I'm going to get the the thing. So let's go back here, and so you can see your photos. Again, kind of cool. You have this like Hyper Trail game, which I played a little bit. Again, I really wanted to have more for this. Because I want to see my text messages while I was driving down the road. Again, it's daytime. I'm driving down the road, and my mom texts me, "Hey, where are you guys?" Because it's a like 20-hour drive out to Arkansas and back. And are you guys okay? Did you make it? Blah blah blah. And of course, it can read it to you, but it would be so much better to see it, or at least when I'm replying, to see my reply. And I can't connect to my Messenger app, or Messages app for my phone. And I have an iPhone, I understand, but still, it really focuses around Facebook's ecosystem. And while that's great for people who are Facebook people, that's not so great for people like me, who are iPhone people. And I think even Android, you're not, as far as I know, you don't have any extra apps for Android. So you're kind of locked to this interface, and I really don't like that. Now, asking it a question is really, really cool, in the sense that if you ask it a question about a place, if you ask it a question about the weather, you get a live image or projection of the weather, of maybe a picture of the thing you've asked about, and then the information that it's spitting out. That was kind of cool. Again, it's kind of like, they're cool features. This is a really cool tech demo on your head. Not $900 worth of a tech demo on your head. It's just not worth it. And then you do have a couple other things. So you have brightness, you can adjust and stuff. And I covered this kind of in the unboxing. but I didn't want to go over it. Brightness, one of the things that is good for is if you're driving in the daytime, you need to kick that brightness all the way up. I was driving down the road and it was really hard to see the screen while driving. Another thing that is, it's impossible. You can see it, and I'm going to put that in big air quotes. I was working on my monitor before I left, and I put these on. I was like, okay, I'm going to test them out and wear them through the day and working. And I had to take them off because, at least for the screen part of it, the screen that's right over here in the right side, even at full brightness, is almost not visible against, now that's an LCD panel behind me, so maybe it would be better with an OLED. I don't know. I don't think so, because every screen I put it up against, it wasn't clear, it wasn't sharp, and it actually just kind of like melded into that screen that you were looking at. If you're into tech, like I am, I love tech, I can see the future, I can see where this is going, but I can't warrant that sticker price for something just that's I'm going to wear. And honestly, to be completely honest with you, I used them for like, a week, 2, 3, and then they sit on the shelf out there. I use my Oakley Metas a lot more than I use these, and I don't miss the, heads up. I'll call it a heads up display because really kind of that's what it is. I didn't miss it. I'm like, okay. I mean, it would be cool to see the weather in an image, but I can grab my phone or look at my watch and tap on my weather, and I've got the same thing I have here. So cool features, cool idea and kind of a vision into the future, but not what I would say is worth that $899 price tag that these are for. And I do like them. They're really pretty good glasses, and I've been wearing this whole time just so you could see them. Of course, the camera is the same. If I remember correctly, this is off the top of my head, as my Oakley Metas. They're not water resistant in any way, shape, form, or fashion, so that's kind of a thing to keep in mind. But the other thing is they're not auto tinted. Like I feel like, and maybe it's the lens type. Maybe they couldn't do that because of the screen inside, but when I'm wearing them outside, I'm like, okay, so I've got to take these off and now grab my Meta Oakleys, and I have to switch between them. But because I don't have sunglasses here, I only have, these clear lenses. The other thing I do want to mention here is the lenses. After about 8 hours of driving with these, I was asking my wife, like, okay, is it foggy outside? Because I would clean the lenses and I'd put them back on, and it's foggy, it's hazy. And I would take them down like this, and I'm like, no, it's the lenses themselves are like, they add a haze. If you ever look through a haze filter for a camera, that's what it is. It's kind of like a haze on everything. It's a softness to everything you see. It's not sharp, it's not, clear. And honestly, it's kind of like wearing a pair of glasses that are not the right prescription for you, but not so bad that, it really is blurry. And so it actually messes with my vision anyway when I'm using these for a long period of time. Because we were in the car for 21 hours, and I used these for a good, 8, 10 hours in that drive, nighttime, daytime, morning. And I got to where, okay, no, I got to set them, I got to put them in the case, I got to set them down, because I wanted to see clear, and this was not clear. So that is kind of an overview of these glasses, of my experience with them. If you are someone who wants to try out the coolest, newest tech, they're cool. Their functionality is so limited that you're going to get bored with them in about a day. Sorry, you will. You will get bored with these at about a day. I found myself like, okay, again, why? And it really sucks because I think that the tech is there and it's going to kind of put people off. They're like, oh, this is so cool. And then all of a sudden you ask yourself, why did I pay for these? Because it limits me so much, and I still have to pick up my phone. If I want to send a text message, even this synced to my phone, it's just not efficient. It doesn't work very well. So I end up picking up my phone or asking, my watch, hey, send this text message because this doesn't work very well. And that's a problem. So if they update these, if they fix those issues and the functionality and give us more, like, if I could put these on and be talking to you and have, like, you know, information that I've written down somewhere and see it, and it would, because it's already got the dictation, right? It's already got the ability to know what I'm saying to someone and what they're saying to me, the captions, and it would like auto caption kind of feature where it's like, okay, I'm talking about this, and it had context because it's got the built-in AI. That could be cool. I mean, that would be really a cool use case, being able to, you know, talk to camera and then have your like notes or bullet points right here. That would be awesome. I would love that. It, again, kind of like a teleprompter, but you know, on your head. It's just super cool idea, but it's not there. Gen 2 of these, maybe. Gen 3, I think, is where these will start to shine, and because we'll be, you know, 5 years down the road, probably at that point. I say Gen 3, 5 years. It's probably going to be 2 years, but you know, it really should be a few more years so that we get this screen technology really refined. And honestly, it would be also nice to have the ability to switch eyes. Having it always in the right is really annoying because there's times where it would be nice to, you know, throw it to the left side, or you know, maybe move it up in the right-hand corner instead of the lower right. There's so many things that I found myself wanting this to do, and it doesn't do them. And the things that it does good, that I like, are not enough to make the price justified. So that has been my kind of overview of these glasses. I will probably honestly be sending these back just because I don't think that right now this is worth it. Cool tech, really cool tech, and a cool demo. You know, and I know the demo failed when Meta launched these back, you know, a couple months ago, but it's just, it's not functional enough yet to make it worth it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, and we will see you in the next video.